Hey, you remember that crazy ass animal zombie movie we recapped? Yeah, the first one, you know what I'm saying? When he popped out the stomach, and then all the homies come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? She just had a train run on her by a pride of motherfucking lions. Scar all in. He getting eaten by zombie giraffes. And right now I'm high as a giraffe ass. That's the one. And there's a sequel to that movie. And we gonna cover it in tonight's Trap Recap. So we parachute into the wildlife reserve with this old G.I. Jane round table Jada Pinkett with a sunburn. Yo, my bad. So Jalen lets her team in, right? And they led by Toronto. He's down with Drake. They're the Six Gods. Jayla has the secret of the ooze and shoots up some rodents with it. A meerkat drops, starts tweaking, and starts feeding on one of the men. Jayla and her sidekick shoot up a couple porcupines right before Animal 12 hems them up. So the chief asks them what they doing there. Jayla tells them to eat a bag of donkey dicks. He secures them, checks on the porcupines, and decides to take them all back to the clinic. When they get there, Olivia, the vet, and light-skinned Bull are with a baby hippo they're going to release when Billy tells her Chief needs help. She goes out to check on the porcupines. "What did you do to him, you bitch?" She yells at Jayla, but she just laughs and tells her, saying, "You gotta smash before you can never call me that, cutie." And they lock them up in the storage closet. She says she need to pee, so he kicks a bucket out of her ass. So outside, Toronto and his day one find a gate. He tells them the only way out is to go up and over, so to get his extra thick ass on. But he's too slow. And before he can, a rhino caught him lacking and gave him an impromptu colonoscopy. God damn, that's bad time. Toronto sees the carnage. He ain't with it, so he ghosts him. Chief calms down Olivia, and she grabs up animal penicillin and gives the porcupine a shot, but that just makes him send a quill at her big as a chopstick. That ain't normal. That's when OVO's own come banging at the window like a crackhead in the projects. He comes yelling about how the meerkats and rhinos is poking his men's buttholes. So they jump him, and that's when Billy finds his vape pen. He's like, "Yo, be careful with that. That's like 96% THC, word." The vet starts blood work while the squad goes to pull up on Light Skin Bull, releasing the baby hippo into the wild. And before they can get there, they end up having to stop at what looks like a mini massacre. And a meerkat pops out the mouth of one of the bodies, and Chief gives it the old Mossberg double tap. And that's when they see an anteater come around the corner, and it jumps on one of the troops and eats way more than ants. Light-skinned Bull gets to the lake, so Light-skinned Bull and his homeboy just chopping it up in the Jeep on their way to the lake. But they stop for a real quick smoke break. Back at the clinic, Billy is about to go give the porcupine some shots. But that's when he notices that these motherfuckers went and pulled a quick jailbreak, right? So they have a real quick Mexican standoff, you know. But about time Olivia gets there, his face got some new piercings along with his chest plate. He's DOA. So she runs for her damn life in the most girly way possible, going nowhere. Sonic follows her out, yeah. She hides under the desk thinking she's slick, but he tracks her down, jumps on the desk, and then forces her ass out. He goes to rush her, and she hits him with the cattle prod, and I swear on everything, the worst line in the whole movie. Right here. You're a bad mama. She goes and checks on the prisoners, and the baby porcupine is humping Jay's sidekick's face like it's consensual. "Do something, bitch," Jayla tells her, so she wraps her hands up, tosses it off, and slaps the bucket on top of it. Light-skinned Bull finally releases the hippo, but before they can even celebrate, they gotta do the dash on a stampede of all the rhinos in the entire world put together. And that's when the chief scoops them up, and it becomes a real race. They got the shotgun, and they end up crashing. The ladies are doing some bonding, and Jayla tells her they need to work together to fix this, right? The guys come too, and since they totaled the Jeep, they're going to end up having to walk. But Light Skin Bull says he may be black, but he's too yellow for all that. Stop acting a little bitch, the chief tells him, and Toronto agrees, so they start making moves. Jayla tells the vet that she worked for a company called Umbrella making designer drugs, but one of them must have got messed up, and how she graduated from Yale, Harvard, and is a Marine and can fix this. The guys come to the river and they gotta cross it, and that's when a giant snake jumps out at Toronto, but the chief handles it with the quickness, and that's when they find the canoes and they hit the water. They cracking jokes and they discussing how they were in a zoo full of zombies, and Toronto's like, kind of like zombies. So meta. Like the zombies, a hippo interrupts them by hoisting Light Skin Bull into the air before catching him in the mouth like a corn nut. The hippo knocks the other two out their canoes too, my dude, but they make it to the shore and they ain't gotta worry no more. So the girls go slide on a gator to give it the cure, and they only got 2 shots. And Jayla thinks that she can handle it with the pistola. Olivia doesn't think so. But since Jayla thinks she a shooter, she went ahead and took the shot and biffed it. Dumb bitch. And that's when the gator jumps on Olivia, but luckily she starts shanking it up like she ain't Compton. And it looks like it done worked. They ain't sure, but the gator just ends up jumping in the water and swimming away. So they bounce. So the boys is sitting on the shore when a hippo pops out the water and they get saved by Jayla. I guess she ended up getting her aim back. Chief hugs up on O. Toronto tries to hug up on Jayla. She calls him a munch, gives him the hand. They decide they need to get back to the clinic, and when they do, they start barricading some glass doors with wood furniture. Even Jayla says this is stupid. Chief is curious if he got enough time for a handy, and Olivia tells him to go wash it up. So he ends up going into the bathroom, making sure everything is clear first, and that's when the gator comes popping through the damn toilet, and he runs for his life. They try to hide. Jayla's like, you know what? Fuck this. I need to use the bathroom too bad. So she tries to pass the gator, ends up in his mouth. So Toronto cops one more fill before Jayla fills the gator's belly. Chief kills the gator with the fire extinguisher, but Jayla's half the woman she used to be. Olivia takes some of Jayla's blood, mixes it with the cure. Chief doesn't think it'll work, but they're willing to try. Toronto can't get over the fact that he just lost his chocolate drop, and that's when they hear a helicopter. So they go outside, the chopper lands, and the pilot jumps out. They're saved. They tell him to run, thick nigga! But before he can, Aslan makes catnip of his ass. And that's when the whole animal gang show up, and they on that bullshit. They force them all back inside. That's when they decide that the only way to fix this is for someone to shoot up the cure and then feed their blood to all the animals. And that sounds crazy, but Toronto takes it upon himself. He's like, yo, I'm about to find my black girl magic in the afterlife. And they're like, oh man, why'd you do that? You an idiot. He's like, yo, what has to be done has to be done. That's when a meerkat shows up and jumps on Toronto, clutching with his teeth, and ends up falling down and becoming normal again. So they know that the cure works. So now that they got a plan, they go out to the garage, give him a spray of that Axe body spray. Then he jumps on the motorcycle, says, yo, next time y'all have sex, you better call my name. And he said, you damn right, and gives him his vape back. So he takes a couple Puff Daddies, and he's outro, hitting that lane. And all the animals follow him, giving the couple the prime opportunity to get gone. So they get out to the helicopter, and he happens to know how to fly it. and they start rising in the air, and they can see that all the animals is better. And then we cut to the future, and we find out that the sequel is actually a prequel. And just for that, you should go ahead and subscribe to the tribe.